Good morning, all of you. In today's class, we will discuss about the clinical laboratory instruments. So, this topic, colorimetry and spectrophotometry, is very important for your exams and frequently asked questions. So, this is your syllabus in this last colorimetry and spectrophotometry. So, under these headings, parts, diagram, use, care, and maintenance. Under these headings, we will discuss today's topic. So, colorimetry mainly we discuss under parts, diagram, use, care, and maintenance. So, you come to the introduction of colorimetry and spectrophotometry. So, these two are commonly used techniques for estimation of various tests or substances or analytes which are present in various biological samples, which are like, for example, glucose, RFT, LFT, urea creatinine, and various enzyme assays, etc. So, in this, we will discuss about the commonly used terms in colorimetry and spectrophotometry. First one, so transmittance, which is T. So, assume that light whose intensity is I naught is passed through a solution. Let the intensity of emergent light be IE. Then the transmittance can be defined as the ratio of incident original light to the transmitted or emergent light, that is T is equal to IE by I naught. Here you can see this diagram. So there is a sample which is containing color solution. After modification with the reagents, it obtains the color. So this concentration present in the sample which produce the intensity of color. So this color is absorb the specific wavelength of light. So when the light, the incident light from the light source pass through the solution, so some of the light is absorbed. So remaining light will be emergent light, also called as transmitted light. So usually the path, this is a path length through which the incident light is passed through the solution. So usually it is 1 centimeters in diameter. So transmittance is equal to the ratio of intensity of the original light to the intensity of emergent light. So percentage transmittance, T percent equal to IE by I naught into 100, means transmittance into 100. Next, absorbance. It is the negative logarithm of transmittance to the base 10, that is A equal to negative log 10 base 10 transmittance. And OD, optical density, it is the negative logarithm of percentage transmitted to the base 10. So the concentration usually directly proportional to the OD or absorbance and indirectly proportional to the or logarithmically proportional to the transmittance. When they ask a principle of colorimetry or spectrophotometry or any spectrophotometry techniques, so usually these techniques will based on the two major principles, so that are Beer's law and Lambert's law. So the measurement of color by photometry, which is governed by the two laws, that is Beer's law and Lambert's law. So Beer's law states that the amount of light absorbed by a color solution is directly proportional to the concentration of the solution. Means when the light is passed through the solution, so the color solution will absorb the light. So if it is more absorbing light means the concentration is more. If it is less means the concentration less. So if A is the absorbent and C is the concentration of solution, then A absorbance directly proportional to the concentration of analyte or substance which is present in that sample. When I come to the Lambert's law, it states that amount of light absorbed by a color solution is directly proportional to the path length through which the light passes in the solution. So if L is the path length or depth through which the light passes in the solution, then absorbance is directly proportional to the path length, A proportional to L. So by combining the two laws, Beer's and Lambert's law, when a ray of monochromatic single beam of light, monochromatic single color of monochromatic parallel beam of light pass through an absorbing medium, that is the color solution, the amount of absorbed A by a color solution which is directly proportional to the concentration of the solution and also directly proportional to the path length through which the light passes in the solution. So the A absorbance is directly proportional to the C and L, that is the concentration and path length of this solution. Hence, if the path length is kept constant, that is if we kept the constant L path length, so absorbance or the OD optical density is directly proportional to the concentration of the sample. So if the optical density of a solution is known, OD of the solution is known, so concentration of unknown sample or test solution can be calculated from its optical density. So how we will obtain an unknown sample concentration means, here the concentration of unknown substance calculated by comparison of its absorbance with the absorbance of the known concentration called as standard. Here you can see, let A1 and C1 be the absorbance and concentration of this solution. So A1 is the absorbance and C1 is the concentration of the test solution, and A2 is the absorbance of standard solution and C2 is the concentration of the standard solution. So when all the photometric measurements are taken using a cuvette having path length which is 1 centimeters in the length, so that is we kept constant. So here the only depend on absorbance and the concentration. So A1 by A2 equal to C1 by C2 and L by L. So L here we taken as a 1. So the path length is constant. So C1 by C2 is equal to A1 by A2. So C1 is a test standard test concentration. So that one we don't know, but A1, that is the absorbance, that is the OD of the test solution, OD of test is known by A2, that is the constant OD of the absorbance of the standard solution, that we will get. Then C2, the concentration of standard solution or known solution, we know that one. So the formula here, C1 is equal to concentration of test solution is equal to absorbance of the test or OD of test by absorbance of standard, that is A2 into the C2 concentration of standard. So by this the formula which is usually in the laboratories is depend on, and when you go to the practicals, So always you do or using this formula, we will measure the unknown sample concentration by using the known standards. So come to the colorimetry, one of the photometric techniques here. So colorimetry refers to the quantification of color compounds in a solution by irradiating with the visible light, which is the wavelength ranging from 380 to 780 nanometer, and measuring the absorbance. And the instrument used for colorimetry quantification is called as colorimeter. Here you can observe the difference between colorimetry and colorimeter. So colorimetry is the technique, whereas colorimeter is the instrument by using that colorimetry technique. So this colorimetry is working on principle of Beers and Lambert's law. So if they ask in the exam, you have to write what is colorimetry, then the principle is Beers and Lambert's law. You have to explain what is Beers and Lambert's law. So this is the instrument usually is in laboratories. There are different parts within the colorimetry instrument, like lamp, that is the light source, slit, lens, filter, cuvette, and photocells, and galvanometer. Here you can see that instruments are parts of colorimeter. So light source, usually in colorimeter tungsten lamp is used. So slit, this one is slit. It allows only a beam of light, single beam of light. So it will exclude unwanted or stray light, because from this light source the light is passed from different directions, but we want a single beam of light. So slit will provide that single beam of light and exclude the unwanted stray light. Next, the light will pass through the condensing lens. So this condensing lens condense light and give a parallel beam of light. And filter are the monochromator, so which is used to select a single required wavelength of light. Next, the cuvettes. So here maybe use glass cuvette, plastic, and quartz cuvettes, which hold the sample. The usual and standard path length is 1 centimeter. So these cuvettes may be a square shaped or rectangular or the round shape. Next one, photocells. So these photocells will convert the light energy to the electrical energy. So when the light pass through the slit, lens, and filter and color sample, the light is absorbed and remaining light will irradiated on the photocells. So these photocells will direct or convert the light energy to the electrical energy, which is recorded by the recorder, and record the absorbance of color solution, which is measured by the galvanometer, and display the percentage transmittance and OD or optical density. So by seeing those ODs, we can calculate by comparing with the unknown sample with known standards. So working of colorimeter. So how the colorimeter will work? So first one, the polychromatic, means when we discuss about the range, here the visible light is 380 to 780 nanometer, which is a polychromatic light containing different colors within that narrow range of wavelength. So the polychromatic visible light from the tungsten filament lamp pass through a slit and a condensing lens, which will emerge as parallel beam of light. So this beam is encountered by the monochromatic filter, so that a beam of specific wavelength is filtered out, and the light is then incident on a color solution and taken in a glass cuvette, so that the valence electrons in the sample is shifted to high energy level, and the absorbed beam which will induces electronic transition which is detected by the photo detectors. Next, the absorbance is recorded against the wavelength. So A versus length, wavelength, by a recorder to give a absorption spectrum of color solution. So what we have to do here, a series of standard solution of known concentration could be irradiated and the absorbance is recorded. In the practical classes, you have to perform a standard graph by using different standards to record or analyze the unknown sample. So a standard calibration curve is prepared by plotting absorbance against the concentration of standard solution, and the concentration of test solution can be determined from this plotted curve. So come to the applications or uses of calorimeter. So these calorimeter are widely used in hospitals and laboratories for the estimation of various biochemical compounds in various biological samples, like in blood, plasma and CSF and urine and other body fluids. And the biochemical compounds such as glucose, urea, creatinine, uric acid, bilirubin, lipids, total proteins, and enzymes like AST, ALT and LDH, and minerals like calcium, phosphorus, which can be analyzed by this calorimeter. So advantages and disadvantages of this calorimeter are, so this calorimeter is an inexpensive compared to the other spectroscopic instruments. So this calorimeter is cheap compared to the other spectrophotometric instruments, and very well applicable for the quantification analysis of color compounds, and which is small one and also easily transportable. And disadvantages of this calorimeter are cannot be used for the colorless compounds. So remember, only color compounds can be analyzed in the calorimeter, and it does not work in UV and infrared regions. Likewise, in the spectrophotometry, we can analyze the sample within UV range and infrared, that is colorless compounds also we can be analyzed in the spectrophotometers, and can't select specific wavelength. Here we can select range of wavelength. And similarly, so similar colors from interfering substance can produce errors in the results. So because of we analyze the sample based on the color development which is produced by the analyzing substance. So similar color, if it is produced by the other interfering substances, so those will interfere with the testing or absorbance of this unknown sample solution. That is a disadvantage. And come to the care and maintenance of calorimeter. So always read the user manual carefully before you operating the instrument, and also use the correct type of cuvette in the calorimeter which is recommended by the manufacturer, and make sure that the cuvette is clean and it is optical surface are dry and free from finger marks or any scratches, and bring filter in place before switching on calorimeter. So this will based on the color of your solution, and before reading the absorbance of solution, check that it is clear, there is no air bubbles in it, and also remove the cuvettes from the instrument when not in use. So clean the outside of the cuvette with the tissue paper to remove any marks from the optical surface. And to prolong the life of the lamp, switch off the colorimeter after use, usually at the end of the day. At the end of the day, disconnect it from the main switch and cover the colorimeter with the protective cover. At regular intervals, check the main power adapter and cable for wear and tear and replace if damaged. And keep it in cool place away from the corrosive chemicals or fumes. So these are the colorimeter. In the next class, we will discuss about the spectrophotometer. So remember the Beers and Lambert's law. Again, you have to write it for principle in spectrophotometry also. So based on the question, you have to write these answers. If they ask just what is colorimeter and principle and advantage and disadvantage, means that one you have to write. If they ask working principle and working of this colorimeter, means you have to write those. So based on that you have to write. Thank you.